Hello, hello, hello. Thought I'd just jump on a quick live. Wow. There's just so much I want to share and so much moving through me. And I'm feeling really grateful and happy and wanting to speak a little bit about embodiment because that has been coming up and it's such a theme for maybe today or this week. Just sharing a little bit about what is embodiment, if you know what that is. I personally didn't even really know, kinda. Well, I know, but I don't know. And yesterday I was talking to my partner about it, and he was like, wanted me to explain it, and I was like, I have my definition, but I don't know, like, other people might have their own, and everyone has their own truth, as I always share, like, try on what feels true for you. And a lot of my content, a lot of things I share is also drops into me and into my head from the cosmic field. And of course, any idea is plucked from the collective, right? And I think what I want to say, like, embodiment is ability to feel things in your body. And I think it's a part of it is walking the walk, a part of it walking the talk, a part of it is moving, allowing emotions and energies to move through you. If you're feeling sadness, to actually allow that sadness to move through you, not making it wrong, not trying to figure out what it is. Same with grief or maybe anger or joy, like not suppressing pleasure, just really allowing it to move through you and feeling it in every cell of your body, or just feeling it, however it is, wherever it is. And one of the big parts of the embodiment piece for me was, and yes, the theme is always going to be about connecting to your menstrual cycle, because that's what's alive in me right now, and that's the workshop that I'm running in a couple of weeks. So all the things I'm sharing, they're gonna tie back to that, because that's what inspiring me right now. It's inspired, like, my journey, how my journey of embodiment began. And it began with tantra and shamanism, but it really deepened with connecting to my cycle and connecting to the cycles of nature. So there are 4 seasons, right? And we all humans journey with the seasons, not just with female. So the workshop I'm running, yes, it is going to be a lot about, well, it's not really all about your period. Actually, there's going to be big parts because there's a lot of shame around that. And it's for all genders, because I think it's important for people that bleed and for people that know people that bleed, because if you don't have a period, if you weren't born to have a period, then you still know someone that does, because you were born. For you to be born, for you to be created, your mother would have to have had a period. And there is a lot of shame around that, but man, Pandora's freaking box. If I start looking and deconstructing all the things that bring shame to us, like us being stinky, us being ugly, us being fat, us, all these things, it's all about suppressing us being crazy. If we want to be creative and follow our passion, that's inappropriate and irresponsible, because you need to make money to survive, otherwise you're going to die. There's all these things to keep us in a box. And one of the biggest things is suppressing our sexuality, because there's so much power in that. And not just in women, in men, in non-binary, in trans. Suppressing our choice of sexuality, suppressing sexual fluidity, suppressing gender fluidity, just putting everyone in a box. And my most favorite, that's most alive right now, is suppressing the menstrual cycle. Dun, 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 dun. But come on, guys, like seriously. If people didn't bleed out of their pussies, there would be no humans. It is like, and I used to hate it as well, right? And you probably already know this because I already shared this many times, but I used to hate my fucking period. And the thing is, there is so much power. It's the blood is an elixir. And if you're like, what the fuck are you on about? I get it. I was the same. If you want to know more about the elixir of life, because literally it is the elixir of life, I'm going to go into the history of it in the workshop. And it's open to all genders. But it is an elixir of life. Like, I'm going to go through the history of it. I'm not going to do it now, but let me tell you why I think it's a elixir of life. Because it creates the baby. So the blood that is in the womb, it lines the womb, the blood that exits the pussy every month if there is no baby inside the womb, if the baby doesn't get created. So if the sperm inseminates the egg in the womb, the baby is created from the lining of the womb that feeds the baby and creates the human. That is why it's an elixir of life. That is why you might know some people putting it in plants. Anyway, I love sharing that because I think it's just incredible. Like, for me, I was like, holy shit. And we are conditioned to trash it. We're so much shame, right? And embodiment is all about bringing awareness to parts of you that are in the shadow and accepting them, embodying shame, the emotion of shame. But how can you embody something if you don't even know it exists? That's the thing. And that's what my workshop is all about, if you want to know more about that. Because there's so much suppression also with our connection to nature. If there wasn't, we wouldn't be killing the planet. Because in our society, we behave and exist as if we're separate. We don't see ourselves as trees and those forests and those oceans that are getting, and those corals, that are getting effed up. We don't see. That's not us. That is something outside of us. People in third world countries, working in slave shops. We don't see ourselves. We're not connected as one. And I don't want to go into conspiracies or any of that stuff, but that's the purpose, right? It's like for us to feel separate, not to feel connected. Because when we're in community, there is power to that, right? And connecting to the cycles of life, connecting to nature, gives you power, understanding. And understanding that you are a force to be reckoned with. You are nature. You are that storm. You are that chaos, that wind, the seasons, the sun, the planets. And I think for me personally, and I think witnessing other people that bleed, other women that bleed, non-binary. Hey Sharon, thanks for joining. Just gave me so much wow, and being around people that celebrate my menstrual cycle, because it's a part of us that we shame and suppress, but we carry, right? And if we want to have radical self-love, radical acceptance for ourselves and for those around us, we have to have it for ourselves first. But how can we have it for ourselves if we reject a part of us and we shame a part of us? We cannot. So it's all tied in, connecting to your cycle and understanding how you fit into the cycle of life, and then witnessing someone else. It just is such a majestic moment. It's really sacred and special and beautiful. And let's bring it back to embodiment. it's embodying that essence, and embodying, if you truly, like, we live Earth, planet, paradox, right? We're in a fucking paradox because we live in oneness and duality at the same time, and 3D and 4D and 5D and 6, 7, 8, whatever. It's all happening at once. It's all happening right this second. And we're trying to explain it all and we can't, and that's because it's a paradox. It's a freaking paradox. But for you to fully be embodied in duality and in oneness, you have to feel it all. You have to feel yourself as all of it. And for me, like Tantra and shamanism, ritual, becoming primal, that really opened that door to embodiment. But the biggest thing was learning about my cycle and the rituals and the power and the witchiness of that. And that's what I'm really going to dive into, because I'm really passionate about bringing the knowledge of the magic of the blood. And if you don't bleed monthly because you don't have a womb, there's other ways that you can really harness that energy. And if you sleep with someone that does bleed monthly, you're in luck. I mean, fuck, like sleep, fuck. You're in luck. There's a lot of magic to be experienced. And this might be a bit too woo-woo for you, and that's okay. There's different stages of what people want to get from the workshop and get from this live. And yeah, anyway, if you're interested, send me a message. And yeah, embodiment's been an interesting journey. And I think, like, if we just allow things to move through us without judgment, life is so much easier. If we suppress shit, that's when shit gets annoying and sad and horrible and bad. And anyways, have a beautiful evening. Thanks for watching and allowing me to just have a chat. See you around.